video. Hi. Ah.
Reco
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can.
How are
Can you hear me?
you? Yes. You're on an iPad, aren't you?
Yes.
You are? Yeah. I love the whole it always I remember the first time I saw the whole Zoom thing come in, I was like, "Oh my God, what is it doing?" And now it's just that's just the new feature of it. Well, welcome, and I apologize for being a few minutes behind. I was trying to get my microphone to reset itself, and it finally did. So obviously we have an hour. We have a lot of places we want to go and we want to talk about. I just pulled up your appointment. And we're gonna see, who comes through. I guess we'll do it kind of a little bit of everywhere. I want to talk about before we get started. I want to tell you a little bit about how I do this, or what I do. That way you can kind of understand a little bit of like what's going on in my head when all this
Sure.
happens. So number one is just obviously going to be me. I am going to have this fun pen here, and I'm also going to have this really, really cool notepad. The only thing I do with a notepad the entire time is just scribble. It just kind of allows my body to do one thing while my brain is out in la la land doing something else. Another thing is that people always ask, how do you get messages or how does this work? So, depending on a lot of things, but depending on how they want to talk, it also depends on, especially if we're channeling people that have passed. Um, remember what I'm trying to do is I'm saying, hey, come on in, use my body, use my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and I want you to tell her exactly what you need her to hear, right? Like that. And so if they weren't a very loud person, well, they may show me more images or they may make me have more feelings. If they were more of a loud, like robust person, well, then they'll usually use more words and they'll kind of almost like push their personality through. Sometimes they'll do a lot of what do you call it, signs and symbols. So like if I see a white balloon, that means anniversary. If I see red roses, that means your anniversary is in like the next like week or 2 weeks. If I see there's just so many things, and I'll have to decode those. It comes in signs and symbols, feelings and emotions, kind of like seeing different things that either happened to you, reliving it in my head, and then of course words and phrases. Near future, how that goes, I see in here that we want to kind of like go on, what's moving forward. People always like to ask, how does that happen? Whenever you have big life events, or when you have big switches, or maybe when you come to these big actualizations where you switch in your energy, or you shift the vibration of what you will are kind of like out in the old in with the new, you can feel that. And then if you're attuned to it, then you can kind of get a grasp on, is it a year, is it 6 months, is it 5 or 6 years? So there's a way of like charting that. And what they do is you can feel like death or you can feel cancer, because what happens is that these are these big upheavals of like, oh my God, and oh, this is how, like that. And so, because remember that your timeline is not the past and it's not the future, because those don't exist. It's only now. So it's not in the form of a hot dog, it's in the form of a hamburger. Okay, so just because we're looking at the bun right now, which is where we're at now, it doesn't mean that the meat and the cheese and the lettuce don't exist. And so that's the whole near future thing, is that you're able to kind of like feel these other layers. And so you can see, like, is there going to be a successful business? Do we need to wait for a year? Just all these different things. You can kind of feel that. I want to kind of feel around the room first. I want to see who's around. We'll probably call in some people too, just because they're not always just standing next to you going, oh my God, I'm here with you, like toy soldiers. They're still people. We
Right.
always forget that. And so also to remember that, because right now what I'm feeling, when I want to give you a little example. So whenever you start and you're doing a mediumship, there's different, best way I can describe it is that there's like different levels. So there's what we like to call middle vibration. That's what I've kind of coined it at this point. It's where maybe people that haven't resolved their passing all the way, or maybe they died of like an accident or a murder and they're still waiting for that to be resolved or cleaned up, or maybe they had a suicide or like a drug overdose, so they're still kind of like in that deeper emotional state. They kind of hang out with us here on earth, because they haven't moved up yet. And then you have this upper vibrational state, which is what we like to call heaven, or high vibe. It's where like our angels and, Sally that passed peacefully of cancer, she's up there because she suffered for a long time, but she was a good gal. And so whenever I'm talking on one level, you can't talk to the other one at the same time. It's like
Sure.
being in an apartment building, but you can't talk to the person on the third floor if you're in the first. You see, I don't. That's the best way that I can describe it. Now they'll talk about each other, but you can't channel them. It's weird. But so we just move around. Um, Let me feel real quick. Let me put on my music in my headset, and then of course we'll have questions and all the above. I'm listening to uh the Gladiator soundtrack in my head right now. Just a little bit of that. So it's just like this good chill music. There's a gentleman that shows up first in this room. Why are you doing here? Weird. It seems like your house or wherever you live is like the house to go to in my head for some reason. Like, and I have no idea why. Let's see. Now, what I'm talking about, not so much people, I'm talking about spirits. So you're actively married right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it feels like um there's a gentleman here, they're talking about a husband, they're talking about another person that like lives in this home here. And he's just kind of like walking around in my head. Yep, I'm here, they all come in. This is the place. Maybe we don't have a whole lot of big Christmases, maybe we don't have a big parties and stuff like here, not like that, but I guess because it's generally quiet. Is it just you and like the person you're married to and sometimes the kid here ever so often?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because they're talking about how they like to relax here because there's not a whole lot of like craziness going on all the time. They are here. Now, this could also be some of these people can also be your guides that they're trying to come through and talk. Um, they just showed me a sign for health, so we'll look into that and what's going on with that. They're talking about with you and that. Hold on, well, let's go into that first. What are you doing? Weird. I've never gotten that message before. They're talking about how you need to. I know you slow down. I know you relax. I know you hang out. I feel like you're high energy though, so it's always like but then it's like we have these periods of just nothingness. And they're talking about how in like these periods of just sitting or just waiting, that instead of being very, very frantic, we need to just take a moment and like appreciate the small stuff. And when I say appreciate the small stuff, like take a moment whenever you walk outside, like look at how beautiful the flower is, or like look and notice like being in the moment. For me, this usually means that maybe we're always hectic, maybe we're always in our head, maybe we're never really or like we're trying to get to that. So they're trying to tell you like make it's simple. Calm down, appreciate the small stuff, like breathe, just watch, just look. That's interesting. They keep talking about with you with hmm they're talking about life altering health conditions with you. And I'm trying to figure out what that means. I mean, I know, but I'm trying to get more specifics on that. Mm. Is your husband like not the big, or the person you're married to not like the biggest help in your life right now? Is it more like hindrance and like pushing aside? Yeah, cool. Because they're talking about with, I don't know if this has happened to you or if this is going to happen to you, because they're talking about how with this you're going to feel, or maybe you did feel like you're completely alone. And they're talking about how this person is kind of like pushing it off to the side, and how there's not a lot of caring, there's not a lot of nurturing, there's not a lot of anything like that. And they're talking about that sucks and they don't like that for you. That gentleman that was here that was walking in, I think is for him, and he's talking about how I don't know exactly who he is, but he's just like disappointed in his actions or disappointed in what he's doing. So it almost feels like this person is related to that gentleman, but he's here for you, loving and supporting you. It feels like it would almost be like a father type of figure in a way, or somebody that would represent that to him. He what? Because he keeps talking about you're a good woman. You're a good woman. Needs to realize that. Like this person here kind of feels a little country, and I'm totally down for it. So I don't know why, but yeah. What? So tell me, have you already had treatment for cancer?
Yeah.
Oh shit, really? Okay. Oh, so it was. Okay. They're talking about, they showed me, oh, I just got goosebumps. Come back here. They're moving fast today. We're talking about wrapping head. That for me is Cancer. That just means like hair stuff. And they talk about how that's why you have a really cute short haircut because it's adorable. You're what I want right now. They're
I
talking
used to
seriously.
have the long hair, but
Well,
when
no, tell me.
I've lost my hair 3 times with chemo. So I've been bald 3 times. So it's just gotten used to the short. So
Oh, hold on. Wait. Hold on. I have this crazy little desk. Give me a sec. Can I find it? Is it here? Oh, here. I know you can't see it very well, but that was me. And I
oh
had
my
cancer.
goodness.
Yeah, and I lost my hair. This is all fake though. Most of this is. I have all the
Oh,
extensions.
the
And
clip-ins?
so
Yeah.
no, I have they're all beaded. They're all sewn in right here. I mean, my hair is
Oh,
still
okay.
they're down to here, but this adds the volume. And so
Right.
my eyebrows never came back, so I have those tattooed on. So I
Nice.
understand. But no, they're show. Oh, so you didn't get so that's what they're talking about. They're upset about that. They're pissed about you going through that and nobody being there to help you. Hold on. Do you have 2 kids or 3 kids?
3.
Cool. Okay, awesome. I go, who is that? Well, who? There's a woman here for you. Hmm. Is your mom passed?
No.
What's going on with mom? They keep saying mom over and over and over again.
Probably my grandma that was like a mom to me.
Mom to you. Yeah. There's a woman here and she is just like, because this was a weird feeling. So I'll just tell you what happened. So they're going, mom. And there's a woman that shows up and she's like, I love her. Just like this over emotional, come over here and hug me type of person. And then when I ask, I go, is this the mother? And then you in my head say, oh mom. So it's like almost like mom is like a disappointment in a way. Sorry. But that or it's like, oh, like maybe we have to take care of mom. Like mom never really took care of us. Like that type of feeling.
Right. My mom, right. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the
Okay.
best relationship with my mother. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we'll get into what that is and moving forward. It's weird. Does mom shh, what are you talking about? Hold on. So mom, your mother is a person that like blames all of her issues on everybody else and like meek and hides away and like shies away. Yeah, so your grandmother is like not very impressed with this person. Sorry. She's like she goes like this to grandmother. I go, what's up with the mom? What is she? Is she an alcoholic or what's going on? And she goes, oh no, she's just and everything is oh my god. Oh. And I was like, okay, I get it. There's a whole bunch of feelings going on there. Wait, your grandmother's like taking account that she's the one that brought you back from all of this. I'm just saying. She's talking about how tell me. Do you have like tiny dogs like chihuahuas or something?
Yes.
You,
I have 5 dogs.
oh really? What are they?
I have a Labradoodle,
Oh,
Golden Doodle,
oh,
Poodle, a
oh,
Chihuahua, and a
oh.
Chiweenie that's part Chihuahua.
She just oh that's so cool. So this is what she just showed me. She goes, oh my god, those babies, she loves those babies. I said, well why? I go, why didn't she leave him? Why didn't she move or why didn't she kick him out? So I'm just asking these questions because my human brain doesn't understand. And she goes, well she can't, like this is a stable. What if and when it comes back again, like what do we do? Like we need this for some reason. This is, I know the love part's not there, but there's something else that we have to stay in this relationship and I don't understand that and why, but there's a feeling of it needs to be. And we'll try to look into that more. And I go, well why can't she just walk out? And she goes, she can't leave the babies. And then she shows me this little dog with these tiny little paws coming up and like crawling on you right here, and then you're being like, oh my god, I love you baby. And like you
Yeah.
like,
Joey,
so
yeah. Yeah,
oh that's
she has some eye issues, so her and I've gotten very close because it's eye drops every 8 hours and medication and stuff. So
Oh, legit baby. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
why it's
she's,
so
yeah, my
constant.
baby. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So tell me, your grandmother is in your house right now. Hold on. Do you have, is like one of the Labradoodles like absolutely terrified of everything? Or like
Um,
super terrified of like the outdoor elements and thunder and stuff like that?
yes, yes. Yeah, like fireworks. My golden
Oh,
doodle or labradoodle is like that.
okay. The only reason, so she's talking about standing, she's talking about, I guess, standing and looking out like a back door, looking out a sliding glass door or something. And she's talking about how there's this one doodle that is a brave heart, but like very terrified of anything like this. And oh my God. And like they should be aligned. She likes that one. One. That one feels like a young child in my head over and over and over again, just like a little kid. Oh, what? So tell me about her. She's talking about your dogs right now, and I'm trying to bring her back. I wonder if you had a male cat that died. I know you're a dog person, but it's weird that his,
Yes.
yeah. Cool. Sorry. There's a cat that just walked in front of my face and I saw little noo-noos in the back. Well, and so I was like, okay, there's a male cat. Um, he's here. He loves you.
Mhm.
Just because he just showed up. One. There's like an old boy, I guess, or an old boy, old man or something.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, he's talking about you coming up and doing like this, and he's very slow. And that means old man, and he's like, ugh, I'm here, I'm fine. Kind of the reaction of him. You have all these animals and all these people surrounding you and loving you. Come back here, what? Mm, we don't know yet. Well, what do you mean we don't know yet? Do we think? Ooh, I don't want to be that person. Oh, this is so hard. They're talking about, are we like, do we think like part of it's back again? Yeah, okay. Sorry, that's what I was arguing with him. I was like, no, don't make me tell me that. Okay.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Oh man. Okay. I go, why are y'all all here? Why are all these people here? And I was thinking, I was like, I know why all y'all are here. I know. And I was like, don't tell me that. And they just like, um,
Play number 5, the 5th time.
really?
I just went on the 27th, and
Oh my God. So you just found out.
well, I knew, but I didn't realize to the extent of how many places it was, and it's pushing up against my heart now.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like they're going to try to send me to the Mayo Clinic because I've had so much treatment
Yeah.
that they're just worried about all the after effects of
Yep.
everything.
Yep. Um, so do you want me to be very frank or do you want me to walk
Yes.
light? Okay,
No,
cool.
I want you to be very frank.
Okay. So the way that everybody is showing up, there's two things. One, it means that they're surrounding you and loving you with nurture. That's the first thing. Number two, that means some crazy stuff is about to happen. But that also means you're very protected and I want you to take it day by day by day. The next thing that they show me is they showed me you. And they showed you with almost like hair loss again. Um, and then they show you sitting on like the side of a bed and it looks like a hospital bed and you go, okay, enough's enough, enough's enough. That's all you say. And this feels very real, just because of the intensity about it. Hold on. I think what's going to end up happening is I think they're going to end up sending you to this clinic or you end up getting treatment again. I think they talk about how it's going well, how it's going to go good. I think you end up getting this said treatment, and I see you with an image of you going, yeah, they think it's good. But then it's like when we go back, all this progression that we thought we made, and when we have a scan to check it out, it's like it's not working or it's not doing it. And so it's like whatever this does, because you feel like the way that you look, you don't have a whole lot of like I mean my dad had it, the whole thing, you don't have as much, substance to you. And then you're just like, enough's enough. Enough's enough. And so you're getting very pale. So you don't get pale, but your body gets pale. And so I want you to know to go and fight the good fight and enjoy it. Not enjoy it, but enjoy the oh, that's why they're talking about that. Enjoy the little things, enjoy the beauties. That's why they're saying not to leave, because there's a shift because of that. And so I want you to just find your love and your admiration of the things in life around you. And oh my God, we can do like a whole thing on it. We're going to support you all the way through. And then I don't think it ends the way we want it to end. Okay. But does that mean we don't try? No. But I think at one point down the line, and I would even say like a year and a half out, year out, I don't know what happens 9 months from now. Did you only have a 6-month scan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because I'm like year and a half out, and they put me back, and I was like a year, and then they put me back, and they put like 9 months, and I was like, it can't grow that quick. That's not a thing. And they put that this scan was 6 months, and I go, oh, okay. So it's almost like a year out from here that we make this decision, or we choose this, or we start going from here. And yes. And then they don't like to tell me anything after that. But I want you to have sunflowers. I have no idea why they're throwing sunflowers at you. It's like maybe we find the beauty, find the light. They don't want you to be in sadness. They don't want you to be in darkness. Now,
No.
with him, I want to look at I'm going to look at the spouses. I want to look at his chart later. I want to look at yours, because I want to show you not just like if you get along or not, but I want you to kind of like see it from his perspective. Well, maybe it's not just because he's being a butthead, but maybe it's because he's also scared too, right? And doesn't know how to express it. And so we can look at that too. He feels like he's just kind of like shoved you off of the face of the planet though, and like you don't exist. So I don't like that. And so we'll look into that too. I want to go in with they keep patting you on the back and they turn you into Rocky in my head, like the movie Rocky. And they keep talking about how I've never heard that before or seen that. They have patting on the back. So they're like, you did a good job. You did a good job. You did a good job. Hold on. What else is going on? Ooh, that was hard to talk about. What? Can you tell me? You don't need to give up, as she says. She says you need to keep fighting. You'll know when enough is enough. I think you will go with grace and dignity. I don't think it's going to be bad. Remember, we can't look at the future. We have to just look at now. If I go and I put like a hold on. They won't let me go out further than 2 years, and I don't know why. I keep asking about further than that, and usually I go to like 2 to 5. And I don't know. Maybe it's because we need to deal with this right now. Maybe because there's not. Maybe it's because I wonder if they're gonna go, ooh, hold on. Has it already made it into the bone?
No, not that I know of. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so one things they just talked about, they just showed, is I think one of the things that may happen, I don't want you to freak out, there's nothing like that, but they showed me. I remember when my dad had it really bad. He had liver pancreatic cancer, and then it turned to liver cancer later. And they were monitoring all these little clusters of tumors inside of the liver, and they couldn't get it out because it was the size of sand, and they were everywhere. And they were like, "Oh, it's just there, it's just there." And then they came back and they found some weird markers, and then they found like an area like on the spine, and it was like so small. And they keep talking about spine, spine, spine. I don't think it's anything now, um, but I think that may be part of the thing where you're just like, enough's enough. And so I think the next 2 years are going to be very, very intense. And I don't want you to give up, but I also want you to know that they are going to protect you no matter what. Your grandmother is an amazing woman that is here for you. Your kitty is already here, which is very interesting. Haven't had a cat show up in a while. That I haven't called. And hold on, one. I wonder if you had. There's another man here. He's a little bit younger. I'm asking around. I'm gonna see if you have any questions too. I'm like, who else is here? What are you doing? Who else can show up to say hi? There's a man that's here for him. Like I said, like that father figure, but he's here for you at the same time. There is this younger guy. Come on. Did you? Ooh, this is hard because the way it feels to me. Um, oh, who are you? Did you lose like a gentleman that would feel almost like a nephew or something like that for you?
A nephew?
It'd be like a nephew or like a cousin. It's not a brother because it's not directly next to you.
Oh, a cousin.
Okay, yeah, it's a guy. It's a guy. Yeah, there's a gentle because he feels that's why I'm like it's not brother. It's just like here right next to you, and it doesn't feel like he was older. It doesn't feel like he was very very old when he died. It feels like almost like maybe. Do we think he was in like his early 40s or late 30s when he passed? You know?
No, you would have been a
How
lot
old was he?
younger than that. Like
Very
probably early 20s.
early 20s. Okay, okay. And how long ago was that? How long ago was that?
Oh, a long time ago. It's been,
Long time. Did,
yeah.
did he pass up like an accident or like it was a tragedy type of thing with him?
Right. He had seizures and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's this guy here that is he shows himself as being a little bit older. I bet it's because, there's time has
he's
passed.
probably grown
And
with us.
yeah, he's been growing. Well, he shows up with this grandmother type of figure, and he has this very friendly, nice, like, hey you, how are you? Just like very just loving and almost like kid like, how they're like, hey aunt so and so. I'm not saying he's an aunt, but like that type of thing. Almost like you would look up to him as like a, oh, hold on, what? And he shows me that whenever he died it was quick and everybody was like, oh my god, this is terrible. Oh, it's so that for me is like
Yeah.
tragedy and people were able to mourn him for a long time, but it's like he didn't do anything wrong, so that's why it's like it's not drug overdose or it's not suicide. So and he's talking about how he's coming up to be there to like welcome you in down the line too. So you have like this whole group. Tell me, you want? He like wouldn't take his medicine, or maybe they didn't have medicine for that back then or something. I don't know.
They
He's
did. He just
they,
wasn't taking it.
okay, okay. I go, dude, what happened to you? I said, how did you have seizures and die? I said, they give you stuff. And he goes, he puts medicine and he puts X over it. And I was like, oh, okay, I see you're being sneaky. He says that, what? He likes to come up and put his hand on your shoulder and he just likes to kind of just stand there. So he's
Uh,
part of like this more golden area. These people are in what we like to call heaven. So they're higher vibration. So they have this very type of feeling about
yes.
them. They're
He's a
not lower vibe.
sweet, sweet soul.
Very, very, very sweet, very, very loving. Let me- he keeps showing himself as this big guy, this like big guy. I don't think he was when he was younger. I don't think he was when he was a kid. Yeah. And so he's trying to show you that he's like turned into this man, not fat, just like filled out. He's
Right.
talking about turned into this man. I'm like, okay. He says that he sends you interesting. I know that sounds generic because it is, but he's talking about sending you butterflies. Interesting. I don't like generic signs, but literally that's what they show. I go, okay. He what? Says you better get out and take little trips and travel like you always say you want to. They just said. I mean, those are the
Yeah.
exact words. He said, and it's not like, oh, we don't go to Greece or we don't go to Spain, but we're taking these little like almost like girlfriend trips or little quick little ones, like that. He wants you to do that. He keeps showing like bright blue waters. When are you gonna go to Florida or when are you gonna go to California or when are you going to do that? Can you do that?
I have no plans to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I
So
think you need to. So he keeps putting your toes in the sand and he keeps putting these bright blue waters. I know that's not down here in Texas because we don't have that. It's green. And so those are the only two places. So it's like I feel like in a way that you end up, and I keep seeing you with like a scarf on your head. So I think before this ends, I think you end up like taking a trip to either like Miami or down that area that way, not to party, but to just sit and breathe for a moment, or even like San Diego, one of those places, just to like sit for the weekend and you're like, man, that's nice, where talking about your husband, don't mind him. He was like a good old boy. He was like a grumpy good old boy. That's what he's talking about. He says that, wait, what? Y'all live in the city, right? Y'all don't live on a ranch, right?
no, we live in a small town
Yeah.
right
Oh,
in town.
okay, okay. That's what he showed me. I go, oh God, sorry. They take my words and they run with it, and then I forget what I'm talking about. Hold on. Hmm. Oh, okay. So let's rethink this real quick. Sorry, I think I just made a connection. Remember how I was talking about Florida? Remember how earlier talking about the Mayo Clinic? So one of the main campuses is in Florida. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just gonna put that there and leave that there. Weird. So there may be a thing where you have to travel and you have to go there. I don't know. We're just gonna
Oh,
leave that there. Um, which one are they? Are they wanting to send you to one
the
where?
one in Rochester, Minnesota, because I live in Wisconsin. So
Mm, mm, you're in Wisconsin. There may be a thing down the line where they send you there to like have a study or have something done or have that, and that may be a thing. I don't know. We're just gonna put that there, put it on the shelf
all
and let it
right.
go, and you email me. Hold on. What, email me and let me know. There's weirder things that have happened. So tell me. Hold on. Do you actually like cows? Like the
Oh
animals?
yeah, all
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah, yeah. He goes, I go, well, what are y'all doing? What do you do for her? And he talks about he just gets a cow and he puts the face in your face and he talks about, oh, she loves them. She loves them. And he talks about all the dogs and all the cats and everything like that. And I think in a way they're like prepping you for heaven, which is interesting. I'm not saying we're dying right now, but they're trying to just like show you and teach you and say, hey, like it's good, it's cool. They're talking about how, hold on. Oh, do you still have, well, maybe you put that up. Maybe you took it off and put that up. Um, did you used to wear a cross pendant for a necklace?
I've had
You
one
have
that I
you
yeah,
have
that I
one.
wore in the past. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so weird. So they talk about, and they've done this before. So all that stuff is real. It's not like what people say, right? It's not like, oh, you have to wear a poly cotton blend and you're gonna go to hell. But I like to call them Joshua, which was what Jesus's name was. And it's just a higher vibrational frequency energy that kind of like clears and clears, negates it. And if you align with that, you're aligning with yourself. Anyways, and there's, of course, all the other deities are a real thing. They just are in different, from different backgrounds. So what they just talked about is they had you, they got a necklace, they had it be like a cross, they had you rubbing it, going into like a prayer or saying a prayer, and then they talk about how maybe you lost faith in it, or you lost faith in this higher power or higher self, and talking about you putting it away. So you put it away. So there's a couple of things. And so what they're talking about is like not just like bringing that back out, but like we want you to hold on and start meditating or start praying or start getting into this place, because we'll protect you. We'll be okay. So for me, that means get it back out again, put it on. Right. Or there's a couple of things, not just the cross, but
Right.
get back that feeling. Right. Um, Tell me. You cook really well.
I do. I
Mhm,
love to cook.
mhm. Yeah, she's talking. So this is your cousin. I ask him, and your grandma's here too. And I go, so what does she do? They're kind of just like sitting in your house. Your house almost feels like it's um good, but it feels like you have a lot of stuff in it. It's not packed. It's just like very well done, like a lot of stuff in it. Yeah, okay, because it feels very homey. It feels very cozy. It feels very like where they're sitting at. It's like, ooh, like that. And they're talking about how when you don't get tired, when you don't get exhausted, like you cook really, really well. They're talking about how, oh, hold on. Are you getting to be like another grandma? Is like that going to happen? What's happening with that?
Not that I know of. Better not.
Okay, so I feel like before, okay, I'm just gonna tell you this, and this is another thing. Remember, we can't control any of this. I feel like in a way that before you leave this earth, that there will be a little baby boy born. And I'm just gonna leave that there. And the whole thing is like right now we don't like it, right now we wouldn't want it, right now whatever's going on, it kind of feels like a negative. But whenever this happens, you're going to be in a state where you like understand the beauty of life and creation. Like it's almost like you align with who you are, and you're like, oh wow. And so it's just more of like, oh, I love you, I'm so happy I get to see this newborn before I. So it's this really beautiful moment of like this circle of life in a way, before you decide to head out and go party. And so
Right.
just wait. Okay, that's literally what you'll do. Hold on. Hmm. Was one of the boys, do you have two boys and a girl?
No, the other way around.
The other way around. Okay, cool. They keep talking about a male, and they keep talking about, did somebody have a hard time with like substance abuse?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Nothing crazy like where I'm living on a box in the street
Right.
and I'm shooting myself up. But was that the male?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay. They're concerned about him. They are concerned about him after with mom. You're going to be like his guide, you're going to be his light, you're going to be that down the line. They're concerned about how he must have a lot of like the sign cancer in him, not the disease cancer, but it's because he's like super emotional underneath, but he doesn't know how to really get it out at all. So he like sucks it all in and everything like that. And so this is going to be detrimental to him, but he'll find his light. He I wonder if he had a lot of friends he lost. He seems like he has like a line of all the way down. Um Hold on. Did he end up like watching one of his really good friends die or something? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's weird. So this, let me just tell you what they're showing me, and it's my interpretation of it. So it's like maybe I'm really off, and that's okay too right now. So they're showing me like with him that they show good friend, which means like I was really, really close to it. And they talk about him going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this," or "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." So, number one, for me initially, that would be like maybe he watched him pass. Another thing could be that maybe he had a really close friend that he was close with, right? And then he ended up like just passing, right? Or it did pass. And so that could also be something that cuts off. And that could also add to that detriment. Another thing that could mean is that maybe he has a really, really good friend because they're concerned about him and he ends up dying very soon. So, those are three different things that go there, and that could also hit on this detriment of this gentleman. Um, I worry about him down the line becoming suicidal or like drinking too much or like getting into that area. Do I think he will? No. But do I think some people like have this worry about it? Yes, but they're going to take care of him and make sure that he's okay. Um, Hold on. Give me a second. Where are you going with this? Are you like an exceptionally crafty person, but you don't do it anymore?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Your grandmother's discussing that in the background in my head, and she's like walking around your house in my head, and she goes, "Tell her that she's always just so crafty. You tell her she can do it all." And she just shows me like fingers with like thimbles all over, like the thimble, like all over them. And
right.
that for me means like I wear all these different crafts and hats. And she goes, "But she thinks she just doesn't have time for them anymore. She needs to do this." And I'm like, "All right, I'll yell at her to do that." She says that. So it's like, again, going back into the small stuff, doing what makes your heart happy, right? She says that, ooh, did you do like hardcore paper cutout scrapbooking Cricut stuff?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah.
Did you? Okay, they just
I
showed
was
me.
just thought about that the other day, thinking that with this cancer, I'm gonna have to get the stuff out and get some of these books finished. So that
Yes. Yeah, that's what she's yelling at. Oh man. Okay. She just showed me like a green piece of like thick paper, tack paper or whatever it is. And then
right,
she showed like this green piece of paper turned into a flower and you like shaping it or something. And I'm like, all right. I don't know. So again, that goes into like, you need to do this, you need to get on this. Don't sit around and feel sorry for yourself, okay? And that's easier said than done coming from me because that is, our own internal struggle, and I understand that. They don't see it that way, but
right.
it's our struggle, right? That's always the difficult part. They talk about how what I really want you to do, so what they just showed me with you is I want you to just get stuff because you love it. I want you to buy the colors. I want you to buy like the lace robe that's like 19 million colors on it. I want you to go and like get a bandana that's like bright red lace. I mean, I don't care anything like that. What they're doing, I want you to get like the odds and ends. I want you to get out of the box and do what makes your quirky, crafty brain feel good and not what everybody else wants. Like, I want you to turn into like this, brilliant, colorful, artistic individual in this last area where you don't care if you have, what do you call it, spinners on your wheelchair or like rhinestones everywhere. Like that's what I want you to turn into. So people will be like, "Mom went off the deep," and you'll be like, "No, I just know who I am now. Like I feel it. I just want you to experience and love it no matter what, and fuck what others say." And that's what they keep doing. They're talking
Right.
about
I'm a big
it.
people pleaser, so that's probably what's going on. Just.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. They just keep showing your soul. So they show your body as a box and they show your soul almost like bursting out of it. You can see it like kind of coming out the top and the bottom, and they're showing how it's all this light and you've contained it and you've kept it here because somebody else is saying stay in the box. It makes me happy that you're in this box. And so right now what they're showing is like get out of it. Right. Get out of that. I want to look at I like your group around you. Hmm. I know that you won't do this. I'm going to tell you to do it and I know you won't do it, but I'm just letting you know, think about it. Think about it. I kind of want you to like in a way um show this online or show this to people online, like do a video of it. Say like, "Hey, I'm Sheila. I'm a 5 times cancer survivor and I'm going through this shit right now. This is my journey. Done. That's it. And you just do the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what you will end up getting, who cares what other people say? Just really quick ones. But you will have a community that reaches out to you, that loves you, that makes you feel connected, and it makes you not feel as alone, because the people around you, they're good, but they're not supporting you. And so you need that. And it's not the fact that you need somebody there to hold your hand all the time, because you have this wonderful community of spirits here with you. But I think this, on the positive note, and having other people not only see and share your story, and then you be able to share it with them, you'll find community in this outside source of people you've never actually met. And so you'll feel more connected, and you'll also inspire others, and it'll also strengthen you and who you are and validate that. And so as you change and as you shift and as you grow and as you go through this, you'll never be alone on any end. Do you see?
Right.
So, and don't say no, just go, interesting. And what would happen, I think, for you personally, at first you'll be very nervous. You'll be like, I don't know. But as you move forward, you'll go, wow, I had no idea. And like that's the part I see you at. And so it's very I don't know, it's very
I'm
full
not,
circle.
I don't like to be the victim. I like to just,
I know.
so yeah, I
I
don't
know.
like to whine about anything. So
No, no. And well, that's the whole thing. You're not whining about it. That's why you say, this is me. This is the shit I'm in. Follow
that's
me.
it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you wake up and you're like, today it sucked. I'm throwing up all day. I tried to eat Cocoa Krispies because it's my favorite cereal and it just didn't work. Boom. That's all it is. And so now you're going to have a community that will also lift you up there. I think that'd be very good. And then also you're leaving a legacy too. And that's what I want for you. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
I want to also look at, I can teach you how to do that too if you ever want to know. It's one of my favorite things. I want to look at your chart. I want to see where this is at, and I want to look at your husband's, because I want to show you, why he'd be reacting this way, and if there's anything that maybe we can shift in our being, or all that stuff. Right now it just kind of feels like it's an afterthought, but when I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. So my date of birth is 11/7/1988. When is yours?
11 1970 1970.
Oh, there we go. You're my Scorpio friend. I love it. Everybody so far. So 11/19/1970, and then I was born in Houston, Texas. What city were you born in?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We have a place down here called Culver's. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I think they may have that up there,
Oh
but they
yeah, we have
do.
Culver.
You do. We have one in
Oh,
Texas, and it's right.
you can't throw a rock without hitting one around here.
Really? Okay, yeah, because it keeps saying all from Wisconsin, and that is the only place that does custard and butter burgers, and it's right next to my house. And as soon as I found that place, I was like, oh my God, this is legit. Yeah, yeah, it's a thing. Me and the freaking custard were there. Ooh. Oh, this would make sense for you. So let me tell you about what's happening here. There we go. I'm so happy that you know what Culver's is. I mean, I was like, I bet it is a chain up there. I wonder how it ended up getting down here. Um, you, my dear, no wonder. hmm you need to share this with the world. So, yeah. So your sun sign, your outer personality is in Scorpio. We know what that is. It's dark, it's deep, it's emotional, it's fun, it's cynical, it's very peering. It understands. It doesn't ask for help. It doesn't like to be the victim, but it yet feels so emotional that it drowns in itself. So watch out for that. It needs the support of others, but yet it doesn't want to ask. That's what happens. Remember, all this it's not who you are, it's the way you view your world right now in this reality. That's all this is. Okay. So this is how you view your world. Your moon, your emotional side, who you are underneath this, yours is in Leo. Okay. So what are you partnered with right now? You're partnered with somebody that doesn't tell you you're doing a good job. They don't tell you you're smart. They don't tell you you're beautiful. They don't tell you that you're a warrior. They don't tell you any of that. They probably actually give you the opposite, which is like, why are you being so happy? Oh, we got to go through this shit again. Oh, da, 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 that. Leo in moon women, they need somebody to tell them, I think you're amazing. because it's not the fact that they need somebody, that they're egotistical. It's the fact that is their love language. It's feeling and it's words of affirmations. Okay. And then acts of service underneath that as well. And so when they don't get that, they start to crumble. But then what you have to realize is that you are your own pillar. And this is another reason why I think you doing this that I'm talking about, going through all this with even like social media or posting like that would be great, because anybody that has a lot of Leo in them needs to be the number one in their world. They need to be the star of their own show. And that's not bad, because they are the light, they're the beacon, they're the actors, they are the celebrities, they are the people that are out there going, I'm in the front, it's okay, look at me, I will teach you, we will grow together. Yes, you can laugh at me, but I'm here no matter what. So you'd be a very real persona, and that would be where your connection comes in. And I think that would be good. The reason why the husband and the person that you're with wouldn't be that great with you is because when you have all this light, when you have lightness and darkness in you, and you're the both of both extremes. So that can leave you feeling almost like guarded and also at the same time on your own island. And so nobody can come and get to your own island because it's filled with sharks. And so he's at this point is just like whatever. But it's because you are such an amazing, deep, eclectic person on your own. This also means you need to let your freak flag fly. And that means like doing all these colors, being number one, saying these things, going out and speaking on this like that. This also means, because you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, that you're going to have a lot of stuff that breaks you down to the depth of your soul. And we know exactly what's happening here, right? But that also means that you come out victorious on top, and you can teach others from this. I always say people with a lot of Scorpio on their chart, that from your experiences, you have to show it to other people, because then that way they know that they're not alone. Right?
Okay.
Because that's
Yeah.
the thing of depression. And so that's what you're going through. We have these hard experiences, we have these difficult experiences. Why do we just keep them to ourselves when somebody else is going through that, and maybe they end up committing suicide from it? But because you are able to put that there and say, hey, you know, I've been through this shit, they go, you know, she got through this, I can too. You see? So when we're not putting it out there, when we're not talking about it, especially with somebody like you, we're doing a detriment to not only ourselves, but other people. So another thing is that your Venus, so your love sign, how you love and how you gain love, it's in Scorpio. So it's deep, it's intense. It's like, when I make a commitment with you, I'm making a commitment with you for forever. And what can happen is you can end up like pushing yourself down into this hole, and you get so low because you're not being fulfilled that you just feel like you're all alone. And this person probably really, really adored you because they have a lot of Leo in their chart, but they don't know how to get that deep. And that can get scary for them. Okay. And it's not the fact it's a bad thing. It's just, it's very deep down there. And it's a lot of love, and it's a lot of intensity. It's a lot of nurturing. And so sometimes this person would be a really, really good pillar just to be there. Right. So like being there through cancer treatment, but are they going to know how to get into that ooey gooiness? Probably not, because there's not a whole lot of people that can. And so this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to learn to love ourselves. We're going to have to learn to love what we're going through, and we're going to have to learn to love ourselves through outside stimuli. And so that's having ourself reflected in the eyes of others. And so there's that Leo part that comes in. That's what I'm talking about. But again, this is another really tough placement, in a good way though, because it's very extreme. You're very feeling, and that's good. Another thing too is that your Mars, your masculine side, is in Libra. That means you don't like conflict. So you literally have the most conflict signs of like, I'm going to burn your bridge and kick your ass, but then you're like, I'm thinking that, but I won't do it. You know, I'm gonna keep all this anger here, but I won't. And until you get really, really, really pissed, and then you explode, and it's like the whole nuclear reactor melts down, and then everybody's like, why are you being mad? And you're like, because I'm going to kill you all. Like, that's that's what it gets to. So don't let yourself get to that. You're all about peace, art, good food, good wine, good music, all of that, serenity. That's what you need. And so because you have such an artist touch in this masculine side, if you're not crafting and creating, and if you're not manifesting your emotions into physical reality, which is what we call art, then you're killing yourself. So I need you to get back on that. Okay,
Okay.
so that's what she's talking about, your grandmother. The other thing is that your second house, which is your base vibration, this is who you are all the way. That's in Pisces. That's very spiritual. It's very nurturing. It's very music. It's art. It's flow. This is you. You are the ultimate feminine driven form. And maybe you don't feel that way. And it's also interesting because then you get feminine cancers, right? Like we get into that. So it's very weird. So that also means a lot of times we see that manifested when we don't have enough love, when the female doesn't have enough love and they don't feel like that's being taken care of and nurtured. So now we have to realize that maybe we need to find love in other ways, right? So it's finding love within ourselves, finding love by reflecting it in other people. So that's what we're going to do. That's our new plan. The other thing too with this is that we have a thing called a Jupiter. It is how we gain our luck in life. If we act in this vibration, then amazing things will happen. So yours is in mine. Yours is in Gemini. Mine's in Gemini too. What does that mean? It's all about talking and teaching and showing and telling people and getting out there and having a story. You just self-doubt yourself a lot. And so when you start to do that, you will start to become more of who you are. And so I think this last part of our life is with the last part of this life, let's just re-say that, you are going to have some exceptional growth. I mean, more, I think, than any other time in your life. You're going to become more of who you are. And you just can't let these other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions get to you, because you are this phenomenal little power source of energy here, and you need to be out there talking. And if that's either online or maybe doing support groups, that's exactly what you need to do. Now, the last thing, which is we have a thing called a Lilith. It's what our soul is trying to not be like. Okay. So if we act in this vibration, this is like past life energy. So your past life energy is in Virgo. So what that means is don't be meek, don't be shallow. Don't try to fix everybody. Don't try to have an air of perfection for yourself and others that you can't meet the standards and then you end up crumbling. Like that's past life energy. Also, that is being too nitpicky on things, not letting things go, not letting things flow. That's past life energy. So, right now, in this point, especially what they're saying, what I'm talking about, you're learning how to flow. That's it. And you know how in when I was talking earlier, I said, I want you to put on all these colors. I want you to be this quirky, inspirational type of person. Why? I think it's funny because when I pull up your chart, you have a thing called a North Node. It's what your soul is trying to become. So by the time we get to the end of our life, we hope to ascend to this vibration. So yours is in Aquarius. Aquarius is quirky, artistic. These are the people that put on like the colorful sequin gowns and they go to like Burning Man and run around and like try to feel the moon, like while they're like playing drums. Like that's who these people are, and they don't give a flying about what other people say about them. These are the
Right.
artists that like move off to Washington State and they live in a cave that they completely redone with their hands. Like that's who these people are. But they enjoy every moment and they're very artistic. So it's interesting that you are going from this very intense, almost like darkened state in a good way that's very feeling, to now you're going to be super feeling with like this more explosive, colorful state at the end. So where you feel like you should be growing, you're closing off, and now where you should be closing off, you're growing. So I mean, it's perfect for you. So
Right.
I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. Do you have any questions? Very cool session. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I guess you probably the one question and I really wanted to know is, because I feel like I'm stuck here
Yeah.
with him, and
Yeah.
that because I didn't have the career because I stayed home with the kids and babysat and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. And so um now I kind of feel stuck because I've got these 5 dogs, and where do I go with 5 dogs?
Yeah.
And he's just fine with having another woman in his life for the last 9 years, where 13 of those years I've been fighting cancer. And,
Yeah.
you know, he's an alcoholic, and
Yep.
it just,
So
I don't
what are we
know.
doing right? So what are we? So this is what. So let's look at this, and I want you to listen to this recording over and over again. Right now, we know what we don't want. We know what we don't like. We know what we don't vibrate with. We know what we don't match our frequency with. You have something very tough. Well, what we would say is very tough here coming up, but it's not. You're going to go day by day. I want you to start doing what I said, getting together, right? Talking, putting stuff, talking about it, right? Putting it out. It's going to start small. And what will happen is remember that what you've been in is, so let's just break this down. Everything is a pattern. Everything is a pattern. So what do you mean by that, Amy? Let's step back. We've been in this and think of them as rings. The patterns are like ring, 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 all the way out. And so when we change one part of this pattern, the whole thing reacts. So things start to shift. Well, when people make a big life change, what they're doing is they're changing all of their patterns at once. So everything shifts and they're expecting it that all change right now. Well, you can have all of that change if you just shift one tiny part because it still reacts the same. It just takes a little bit longer time. Okay. You have that. You have that time for it to shift. So, this is what I'm feeling if we're going in near future. So, number one, we don't focus on what we don't like. That doesn't mean we ignore it. That doesn't mean we accept it. What we say, though, is we start looking towards what we do like instead. We know that this person is shitty to us. We know that they have their issues. We know that we can't change who they are and what they are because that is a battle that they will have to face on their own because nobody can change anybody except for themselves. The
Yep.
only person that we can affect is us. You have an amazing battle group behind you all the time. And so, what we need to do is we need to shift a little bit. So, how do we do that? So, in the morning, let's say we get up, and I'm just doing an example. Let's say in the morning we get up and we have coffee, and normally he walks in, hey, and then what we do is when he says that, we have this feeling of, well, he didn't say hi to me, he didn't love me, or he didn't this. You change that, you grab that sensation of you wanting to say that in your mind, because that's a vibration, that's a feeling, and that transfers out into your reality. And you go, throw that away, and you go, hey, well, we just took away the power from that situation. We just took it away. We threw it in the trash. We're not being that way anymore. We're not thinking that way anymore. And then guess what's going to happen? He is a male. Male are very spiritual. Men can feel a lot of things. They just don't acknowledge it. So he's going to start, when you do that over 2 days, he's going to go, hi. He's going to be like, something feels off. Like I don't have that behind it, right? Because even though you just say, hey, there's the feeling of everything else. And they're very sensitive. They can pick up that. So what just happened there when you went from going, oh my God, I can't believe, to just going, hey, is that your pattern is shifting. And so you'll start to see a difference. Now, does that mean he's going to fall madly in love with you and everything is going to change? No, but what you're doing is you yourself
I don't
are
want that.
breaking. No, I know exactly.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But you yourself, you're breaking away from the prison that you're putting yourself in based on his reactions that you can't control. Okay.
Right.
And so we're shifting the viewpoint to what we want to do. So then you go, hey, and then you go, you know what? And in your head, you're like, I'm going to go sit down. I'm going to go play with my craft stuff. Right. So instead of dwelling in that moment on, oh my God, why is he doing this? He's such an asshole. I can't believe he's doing that. Da, 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 da. You're not giving any of that and you're shifting, you're negating it, and you're moving forward. And so what that does is that changes the pattern. Now, I'm not saying this is easy, but what ends up happening is now you're putting yourself on a more higher vibrational state. And so better things will happen. And then when he comes in and he says, like, what do I want for food? Maybe you make him lunch or something. You go, oh, okay, here's a sandwich. Have a good day, right? You're not cocky, you're not coy, you're not saying anything bad. It's just have a good day. What you're doing is you're not giving any energy, thought, or attention to it. But you're not caring, you're just being neutral. And now you're taking all that energy and you're putting it into, okay, well, what do I want? What do I want a video to be about? Okay, hey, I'm 5 times cancer. If anybody else has, and just do it, get there. If anybody else has had this cancer before, let me know. I'd love to talk or I'd love to reach out. And it doesn't mean like that. You just talk online or talk through comments. Like that's it. And so then you see that first positive thing from this video and you go, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Right. So then the next day, what you do again, hey, and then they're like, hi, are you okay? You're like, yeah, I'm fine, right? So now he notices, now he's shifting. So you're shifting too. And then gradually by the end of a month, things start changing. You are feeling different. The stuff is going on with you. He's kind of moving away. You're not giving power to this monster that has been created. If you really want to travel, you will start doing that. If you really want to get into these little trips, you will. Don't worry about what's going to happen with the dogs. The dogs are a neutral standpoint. God, source, and your people will take care of that. Where there is a will, there is a way. If you want to go and do this and you break away from this negative pattern, the dogs will be taken care of one way or another. Somebody will randomly freaking pop up in your environment and they're like, hey, I do dog sitting for like $5 a day. And you're like, great, that's weird because I really want to go on a trip.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. But you have to break the cycle. Be conscious of the patterns that you have. Realize that you can't control this other person and break the pattern, break the cycle. But be very neutral. Don't be crying. Don't be mad. Don't be pissed. He has made this. None of your emotions that you are doing are going to change that. Keep those
Right.
to yourself. Allow them to be a part of you and focus on creating a life that we want in this last quarter.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So if you need me, I got to know my next session. But if you need me, or if you have any questions, you need me to yell at you while this, you want me to make a video, anything like that, you just email me. You got it?
Okay.
Or if you just think of what am I doing? How do I deal with this? Just email me. I got your
Okay.
back. But you have an amazing group. It will be trying, but you will be you will be fine one way or the other. And we know I know what it feels like that, but you are not alone. You got it?
Okay.
Okay. All right. I love you.
I love you
Now,
too.
like I'm
Thank you.
personally, you're welcome. I'm personally invested. I'm gonna have some Culvers tonight because of you. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
honey.
You're welcome, Sheila.
All
Bye,
right.
sweetheart.
Bye.